Well, welcome back. I'm your host, Prepperines, and tonight, an ammo shortage update. Well, what would appear to be facts that we have an episode of deceptive debates, and this episode is the case of Lake City's vanishing commercial contracts. Seems our government has learned magic tricks, almost overnight, taking those facts and turning them into tinfoil hatted conspiracy theories. Now, I don't want an ammo shortage. So if that all turned out to be false, I'll be the first one to tell you that sounds like good news. And God knows I could use some. Either case, we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive because I'm not so trusting of the good old US of A, especially right now. So, as always, pop us in, pour up, and let's dig in.
To me like this. He said, most of the world out there is sheep. They're kind, gentle creatures. They can only hurt one another by accident. He says, then there are wolves. The wolves will feed on the sheep. They're the sociopaths. They're the criminals. He says, and then there are sheepdogs. The sheep are a little leery of the sheepdog. He wanders around, checks the perimeter every night, barks at the moon. He would never turn his teeth on the flock, but he yearns for a righteous battle. And when the wolf comes around, nothing else will do, and the entire flock is sitting there trying to hide behind one lonely sheepdog as he faces down the wolves. We're talking about a creature who is capable of confronting and dealing with combat and sustaining themselves across the long haul. The goal becomes to be a sheepdog, to be a warrior, to be the one that is ready to respond to the threats when the time arises.
All right, guys. So, I think last time I did this, we left off with the Lake City commercial contracts that were getting shut down. Now, that was what we heard. I think that was around mid-October. So recently, we have some updates to that, and it seems like good news. But like I said, I had to do a deeper dive to figure out what the hell's actually going on here, reading between the lines. So I put together a little bit of research. I'm going to try to do this really quick and leave my opinion out of it. You guys can formulate your own. So let's dig in. All right. So Lake City Army Ammunition Plant contract cancellations rumor is false. This is taken from Lake City's Facebook page. Joint Munitions Command has not changed its policy regarding commercial production at Lake City. Lake City has not canceled commercial contracts. Whoop-de-freaking-do. That sounds awesome because last thing I heard is that 30% of the 223 and 556 was going to disappear off the shelves, which was going to also cause a panic buy, and all those buyers were going to move and just basically wipe out the rest. And I was able to verify this by actually going to the stores, and as I arrived, all of it's gone, right? Minus a box or two. So the article was taken, I think it was, let me pull it up here. Article was taken straight from The Truth About Guns, okay? So in this article here, the White House issues a non-denial denial of our Lake City AR-15 ammunition story. You're going to ask yourself, well, what the hell is a non-denial denial? Well, I'm about to tell you. So Andrew Bates, White House Deputy Press Secretary, is the one who issued this non-denial denial. Here's the man here. Looks like a real winner. Here's his tweet. The Biden administration moves to choke off 30% of 223, 556 ammunition from the commercial market. Andrew Bates says this story isn't true. We will not let this plant close. Now back to that non-denial denial. I'm going to pull up this article here and actually share my screen with you guys. Let's remove this Bates tweet. And let me jump over to there. Bear with me. Bear with me. So here's the article in question that we were just talking about. The date on this is June 20th, so a while back ago. So It seems that our story on the Biden administration's big brain idea for putting the screws into America's AR-15 owners has caught the attention of someone who is in full command of his mental faculties at the White House. The story is evidently of enough concern that the White House Deputy Press Secretary, Andrew Bates, has felt the need to issue this tweet today. This story isn't true. We will not let this plant close. There's only one problem with Bates' statement. It doesn't address the information in our story at all. As Bates is no doubt well aware, we didn't claim that Biden Brain Trust is trying to shut down the Army's Lake City, Missouri ammunition plant. Our story states that the administration officials want to cut off sales of ammo produced there to the retail market. So this is where I had to dig back into what the hell is a non-denial denial, because it sounds like a double negative. It sounds like an oxymoron. So here it is. Went straight to the old Goog. So a non-denial denial is a statement that at first hearing seems to be direct, clear-cut, and unambiguous denial of some allegation or accusation, but after being parsed carefully turns out not to be a denial at all, and is thus not explicitly untruthful if the allegation is in fact correct. So what the hell does that mean? So to me, it sounds like almost like a lie by omission. Maybe I don't have that right. So I did even more of a deeper dive. So what I just read here at the top is what you see. But if we go in a little bit deeper, it shows basically an example. So here's an example. Tony Blair. Another example characterized by the BBC as a non-denial denial was provided by Tony Blair, who was interviewed in 1997 just before the general election by the British newspaper Evening Standard. The question was, will Labour introduce tuition fees for higher education? Blair's answer was, Labour has no plans to introduce tuition fees for higher education. No plans does not mean no tuition fees, nor even that there was no intention to introduce them. Perhaps only that the plan for this was not finalized. The Labour Party used the same ambiguous wording in its manifesto for the election in 2001, writing, "We will not introduce top-up fees and have legislated to prevent them." The increase of university fees up to $3,000 was voted before the next election in 2005, implemented in 2006. Therefore, the British government explained that the manifesto in 2001 was only valid for a period up to the election in 2005. So, as I'm saying here, I kind of think that there's more to this story. On one hand, it becomes false that these ammunition contracts are not canceled. And on the other hand, it seems that Bates has no plans to shut down the plant. But that wasn't the allegation. It was never even spoke of. And in the meantime, multiple days pass, like you can see from June until now, that we get, I think it was actually October 31st where Lake City actually came out and made their statement. You have massive panic buying occurring. Now, for me, I didn't hear this news until mid-October. And when I was looking in mid-October, there was plenty of 223 and 556 on the shelves. Plenty of all kinds. So once word got around, hence comes the panic buying. Now let's get into panic buying next. So this Colby tweet, Elbridge Colby, he cites this article and tweets it out on X. As stockpiles dwindle, there's now widespread agreement among policymakers that America must rebuild its capacity to arm itself and its allies. But according to a new government report, that's mostly just talk. So who is this Colby guy? Well, Elbridge A. Colby is the former Deputy Assistant of the Secretary of Defense for Strategy, Force, and Development. Sounds like a guy that I could probably listen to, at least for some basic facts. But this all being said here, I'm still trying to read between the lines and figure out what's really going on here, right? So if all that wasn't true and they want to take fact and turn it into conspiracy theory like that overnight, That's fine by me. We can restipulate the facts. However, in the meantime, like I said, it's caused a crap load of panic buying. And now we might actually have a shortage, on the shelves or maybe in the distribution centers. So the article that he cited here, I want to just bring up. So, The Big by Matt Stoller. The signs are unmistakable, and Ukrainian fighters are rationing shells. Taiwan can't get weapons it ordered years ago. The Pentagon has put together a secret team to scour stockpiles to find high precision armaments in demand on every battlefield and potential battlefield. But the problem goes beyond national defense. In Lake City, Missouri, the largest small arms ammunition plant in the world, has decided all ammo production is going to the military, meaning that there's going to be a domestic shortage for hunters, sportsmen, and maybe even police. This shortage may look like a story of a sudden surge in demand, but it's actually, as Ellie Elkman wrote in the Prospect 2021, a story of consolidation and deindustrialization. So then if you kind of scroll down to the bottom of that article, it says, but don't take my word for it. Take that of the Pentagon. In 2022, the DoD reported that consolidation of the industrial base reduces competition for DoD contracts and leads the DoD to rely on more limited number of suppliers. This lack of competition may in turn increase the risk of supply chain gaps, price increases, reduced innovation, and other adverse effects. And that's why more than a year ago into the Ukraine conflict, the ramp up is still not where it needs to be. So that would lead me to my next piece of information. So this is June 8th, 2022. The U.S. is heavily reliant on China and Russia for its ammo supply chain. Congress wants to fix that. To me, this seems on a larger scale than just small arms ammunition, that this is exactly what's going on here. We are actually doing something good for once, and maybe there was a little hiccup in the facts as they were stipulated for what is actually going on with Lake City and their ammunition in terms of 223 and 556, because that's what concerns us. So I'm going to keep going on here. More about ammo shortage and what causes it, and some current events that could be leading to that, not to mention the one that I just showed you. But right here, this is SSP Firearms. It's like a whole shortage guide. So if you guys are interested into ammo shortages and want to know what the hell's really going on, how they work, how they start, and all the factors that make them possible, this is your Bible right here. So I'm going to go ahead and also just share my screen so that we can scroll around this site just for a minute or two. Bear with me. So that'd be this right here. Okay, here we go, guys. And we're going to get rid of that. So here's the website, as I was saying. And ammunition shortage in 2023. So ammo prices soaring and shortages making it hard to find. This is posted November 1st, so it's super recent. It's actually the most recent piece of information regarding ammo shortages that I could find right now. That's written from a legit source. So are you wondering if we're headed towards an ammunition shortage in 2023? In 2023, we will witness significant rise in ammunition prices, impacting gun owners, defense efforts, and the market as a whole. So they talk about 9mm, 45 ACP, 5.56, 223, but it's not expected to stop with these popular rounds. The escalating cost of ammunition can be attributed to various factors driving up prices and creating scarcity. Understanding these factors is crucial for navigating and preparing for the future. Let's investigate the key reasons behind the soaring ammunition prices and their implications. So right here, you have a whole table of contents that goes, all the way through everything that you might be interested in. For me, I found these key takeaways pretty legit. So let's go through a couple of them. The price of ammunition is expected to persist and will rise substantially in 2023. With the current conflict overseas, the new one, I tend to think that this is probably true. So Ammunition manufacturers are dedicating materials to supply the war in Ukraine and other geopolitical conflicts and tensions, leading to decreased availability and increased prices. And then also this one right here, which if you guys are paying attention to the ammo world, you guys already know about this. Vista Outdoors' recent sale of its ammunition business raises concerns about the potential market impacts. The sole owner of that, I think, purchased it for $1.3 billion when the dude is worth about $2 billion. His father was like a big military guy. So if he's raised his son right, I'm sure he has good intentions and probably wants to take the company to continue to expand on civilian sales as well as military contracts, or one would hope. But as of right now, we don't know what this guy's going to do. And he controls a large corner of the market right now. So interruptions in the firearms industry supply chain and increased production for military and law enforcement purposes contribute to its scarcity and higher prices in the civilian market. Now, let's just keep scrolling here because there's this cool little table I found. So, table factors contributing to ammunition shortages. So, we got supply chain issues that we know could be a factor if we actually kick off WW3 and multiple countries get involved. As of right now, that seems to kind of be hanging steady. So, we'll have to see how that develops, but that is a possible factor. The rise in gun purchases, increase in the number of firearms being bought. I can tell you right now firsthand that I got multiple buddies that are all looking to get guns. And obviously, we just spoke of there being multiple people clearing out shelves with this Lake City news. And then with the Vista being bought out, being unsure what the ammo market's gonna do, right? So then your obvious suspects down below: raw material shortages, import restrictions. Right now we have a 90-day export pause on all the licenses that are in existence or being pulled. So imports are still coming in, not from Russia, but that's not new news to us. World conflicts, ammo demands. Well, there you go. We already know that too. So going back into these rise in gun purchases, I want to show you guys a snippet that I took off of a couple websites. It's not news to anybody, but maybe it's news to you. So, nope, that's not it. This one here. So if you look up Jewish people buying guns in alarming rates, I mean, if you just look up Jewish people buying guns on Google, you're going to get a whole page of people in every state getting training, buying ammo, and buying guns. Largely, it seems like these people aren't armed. And so a lot of these people are what appears to be first-time gun owners. And they are probably loading up, man. They are probably, and good for them. They should load up. But that's going to have a tax on our supply chain, the distribution centers, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going on as well. All in time for, the FBI to also tell everybody that we're an increased terror threat, a dangerous period, unlike the likes that we've seen since 9/11. So not just the Jews. If you're smart, you're going out and buying ammo just cause. Maybe you're, upgrading some of your firearms that you have in your house to newer ones. So, I mean, we're checking the boxes here on this table, right? I mean, we could potentially check the first box if the war overseas really kicks off. We already can check the second box. I think raw material shortages is kind of tied to number one, supply chain potentially. Import restrictions, I haven't seen that yet, but item number one, item number 3 and 4 are kind of all tied together. So if this conflict overseas really goes into full effect and people are going to war, then obviously the people in Israel right now aren't working. So if there's war in your country, yeah, you're probably not going to be mining for raw materials in the ground at the rate that you were, because you're sending your young men to go fight. So wherever we're sourcing these raw materials from, and more than likely, because we're the United States, we don't get them here. This thing breaks out, we have a big problem on our hands. That's kind of what I got for you guys tonight. Covered it all, covered it pretty quick. Let's hop into this chat over here and see who's here. So we got the usual suspects: Papa's Farm, Green Thumb Prepper, Penny Pinching Prepper. Got Silver Fox in the house, Denny Sims, Dovely, and Kill It and Grill It from Nebraska. The man causing the shortage himself, or so he says. Yeah, I guess what's going on in your guys' area? You guys seeing any shortages? I mean, like I said here, I mean, there was like no shortage. And then as soon as I heard about this Lake City stuff, and then maybe it wasn't just that. Maybe it was also like tensions abroad really kicking off. Like, this is going to be a real thing, and this could possibly be WW3. The shelves were just wiped. And as of right now, can't find any 223, can't find any 5.56. 9mm still seems to be in stock. Listen to some guys here online. They're saying that they're thinking 7.62 by 3.9 is next, along with some 308 and possibly even 12 gauge, along with 9mm. Could be the next things to go, but hard to say. I mean, I'm obviously not an expert in this field. I'm just a guy on a computer doing some research, trying to get it out to you guys. So let's go through some of the comments here. Plenty of ammo if you do the hokey pokey, says Silver Fox. I think I know what the hokey pokey is, but that's a game that I play while the lights are off. So I want to know what your version of it is. Let's see what else we got. Denny Sims. Well, I got some, but hot to get some more BMG 338 Lapua and 300 Weatherby. Yeah, man. I've seen a ton of Creedmoor, like a ton of it everywhere. And that was something before I never saw to the levels that I'm seeing now, but it's like range packs sitting out, stacked up in pyramids pretty much everywhere I go. So don't know what that's all about. Let's keep going here. Kill It and Grill It from Nebraska. Oh, Silver Fox. I saw 55 grain at my local gun shop, $1 plus tax. All they had was 100 round box of that, no 62 grain. So yeah, Penny's saying the prices have definitely gone up. So I think I was talking about this with one of my buddies that I go shooting with, and I mean, why not, right? You might as well hike the prices while everyone's freaking the F out. I could attribute that to the stuff going on over abroad and the Lake City stuff. It's probably going to be something that continues no matter what, with, just inflation is like not going away. I looked at something the other day, and it was the price point index in general off all commodities, but excluding food. And they're saying that it was up 1% this last month, but expected to rise 5.58% to like 7 point something percent within the next year. So, I mean, what is that? Another 0.5% per month. So they're expecting it to slow down. That's just them throwing out an expectation, which we know is probably not highly accurate given the tensions that are going on in the world that could drive the PPI like crazy. So, guys, while it's still on the shelves, or what left of it's on the shelves, I think you guys need to go and get it while you can. Obviously, none of us have super deep pockets, and we're all hurting because of these Bidenomics. But a little a little bit at a time is all drops in the bucket. So anyways, thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with me tonight. I hope that this was of some value to you guys. If it was, hit that like button, subscribe if you want some more. I'll try to keep you guys up to date. I just wanted to reevaluate my ammo supply video that I made, I believe last week, on what the developments were. So if I hear anything else, you'll be sure that I'll let you guys know. But we're going to see you guys next time. So enjoy your weekend. Stay prepped, stay safe, and be vigilant. Laters.